en Israel. Traigo un video para que podamos ver contundentemente que la palabra de Dios se cumple cada vez que una nación trata de presionar a que Israel reparta o divida sus tierras heredadas divinamente.
For thus declares the Lord of hosts, for he that touches Israel touches the apple of God's eye. Bible prophecy predictions have a bad name with many people these days, but the surest and most ominously biblical sign of the soon coming end times may have been overlooked in all of the recent rapture hysteria. The ominous phenomena of which I now speak was best documented by Bill Koenig, a Washington, D.C. news correspondent and White House press briefing reporter. He is also the author of the book Eye to Eye, Facing the Consequences of Dividing Israel. The book was first published in 2004. In his book, Bill Koenig reveals that 9 of the 10 costliest insurance events in U.S. history, every one of them very shortly followed dramatic calls by United States officials for Israel to make land concessions in bids for peace with its neighbors. Koenig points out with startling detail how 6 of the costliest hurricanes in U.S. history followed such events. He also documents how 3 of the largest tornado outbreaks in U.S. history followed such developments. Earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, and even terrorist attacks have hit America, some even within 24 hours of calls by United States officials for Israel to withdraw from Jewish land or to make dramatic concessions that would threaten Israel's safety. It happened with Katrina, Koenig documents, when George Bush forced Israel's withdrawal from Gaza. In fact, everyone from Israeli rabbis to United States senators have noted that it seems to happen every single time the United States pressures Israel to divide its land. There is an irrefutable pattern here. Once again, we have now seen the United States hit with a series of deadly superstorms. They, too, will now prove to be monumental and unprecedented in their insurance cost, their utter devastation, and the amount of total lives lost. These record-breaking superstorms followed and were sandwiched between several consecutive weeks of Obama's openly finagling against Israel, from devastating oil and weapons deals that adversely affected Israel, and then finally culminating in an out-and-out public declaration for Israel to return to its 1967 borders. This call was in effect, many experts say, a call for the division and the destruction of Israel at the hands of the Arab world. It's well documented that Obama's public call for the return to 67 borders was in the works and talked about for weeks prior to that call. In fact, it was being reported just days before the Southeast and Tuscaloosa tornado outbreaks occurred. Then, on May 19, 2011, Obama publicly declared that Israel must return to its 67 borders. Less than 2 days later, tornado outbreaks hit the heartland of America, just as Obama hit the heart of God and the apple of God's eye. Do you not see the irrefutable pattern? And it will come to pass in that day, declares the Lord, that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. And I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse, declares the Lord. Bill Koenig has meticulously documented the facts, the dates, and the correlations, and the biblical curses which followed. Now you have seen with your own eyes. One more example of it. I would imagine that there are yet more examples to come, as long as our leaders fail to see or believe the biblical proclamations and promises of God. When will America learn? When will the world learn? And if you don't belong to the soon returning Jesus Christ, when will you learn?
Mas como los días de Noé, así será la venida del Hijo del Hombre. Antes del diluvio estaban comiendo, bebiendo, casándose y dándose en casamiento hasta que el día en que Noé entró en el arca. Y no entendieron hasta que vino el diluvio y se los llevó a todos. Así hoy, muchos no entienden, por más que vean señales cumplirse, por más evidencias que se vean, no van a entender. Oro a Dios para que usted no sea uno de ellos. Así nos alerta Mateo 24:39.